Okay, so let's give some answers for page 74. You should have already done page 74, and then this is just going to be the follow-up work. There are 3,284 cookies and 924 muffins in a bakery. How many more cookies than muffins are in the bakery? Our first step after reading it is to underline our question. How many more cookies than muffins are in the bakery? And then we're going to find important information in the question. How many more tells us to subtract cookies than muffins. Okay. Cookies and muffins. So we're going to subtract these two. So we're going to say 3,284 minus 924. 4 minus 4 is 0. 8 minus 2 is 6. 2 minus 9. Well, I can't do that. If I have a plate with only 2 cookies on it, I can't eat 9 cookies. I might want to eat 9 cookies, but I can't because there's only 2. But my neighbor has lots of cookies, so I can borrow from my neighbor. And now I have 12 cookies. 12 cookies minus 9 is 3. 2 minus 0 is 2. So my answer here is 2,000 more cookies. Here it says to check your answer, and I told you to use the inverse operation. The inverse operation of subtraction is addition. So I'm going to add these two parts together, and hopefully it equals our total. Okay, so we're going to add 2,360 plus 924. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 3,284, 3,284, 3,284. These are correct answers. Okay? Those are all the answers for page 74. All right, moving on. Page 75. Lesson 5, session 2. The standard that we're still hitting is using standard algorithm subtraction to solve word problems. Mr. Diaz travels 4,002 miles for work in April. He travels 2,153 miles in May. How many more miles does Mr. Diaz travel in April than in May? Use any strategy to subtract. You can use any strategy to subtract, but I also want to see your standard, not standard, no, our standard algorithm. Okay. All right, so first we'd find our question. How many more miles does Mr. Diaz travel in May, or in April than May? Then I have to look for important words. How many more miles tells us we're going to subtract from April and May. This many for April, this many for May. Do you know what we did not do in the last one? We didn't label. So we have to make sure we label this time. Okay, so we have 4,002 miles in April. We have 2,153 miles in May. How many more in April? So that's why April needs to be on the top. It's a larger number. 2 minus 3, I cannot subtract that. If I have 2 cookies, I cannot eat 3 cookies, so I have to borrow. I can't borrow from 0 cookies. I can't borrow from 0. I can borrow from 4, making this 3, 10. Then I have to borrow again, making this 9, 10. Making this 9 and borrowing again. 12 minus 3 is 9. 9 minus 5 is 4. 9 minus 1 is 8. Bring down our commas. 3 minus 2 is 1. So the answer is 1,849 more miles in April. going to go to page 71. Now you will use the problem from the previous page to help you understand how to use the standard algorithm for subtraction to show regrouping. Well, this is what we just did. Okay, we had to borrow all the way from the 3 to make that a 10. Then we had to borrow again. So we took it away to make this a 10, and we'd borrow again. How is regrouping thousands shown in the problem above? So this is our thousands place. We regrouped the thousands by subtracting 1,000 from the thousands place and adding it to the hundreds. Okay, so we subtracted here. This made 3. We added that to the hundreds to get 10 100ths. Why is the 10 crossed out in the hundreds column? Let's not do incomplete sentences. The 10 is crossed out in the hundreds because we needed to regroup all the way to the ones. Explain the regrouping shown in the tens column. So this is our tens column. Explain the regrouping shown. So, we're not going to answer this one. We had to regroup the 10 again. We're not going to write it, but I will tell you. So we had to regroup the 10 again because you still can't take 5 away from 0 or 3 away from 2. So even though you did regroup it, we had to borrow again, and we have to borrow again to make that a 9 and make that a 12. Why are there 12 ones shown in the ones column? There are 12 ones because we regrouped the tens. Explain how to subtract 2 4-digit numbers if you need to regroup in all places. We are not going to do that. Okay, I'm not going to write all that. I'm not going to make you write all of that. It says explain how to subtract. Let's explain how to subtract. If there are numbers that need to be regrouped in every single place, we have to look all the way over to the largest place value. Okay, so we can just draw this. We can start regrouping from the largest place value. If we have to regroup every single place value, you have to start in the largest place value. Look back at the try it, strategies by classmates, subtraction problems. Which models or strategies do you like best? You can choose to answer this. If you want to answer it, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Number 7. Find the difference between these two numbers. Show your work. Difference means subtract. We're going to do 8,091 minus 3,467. You cannot take 7 cookies from a plate that only has 1 cookie. You have to borrow cookies from next door, making them have only 8 cookies, and now you have 11. 11 minus 7, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 is 4. 8 minus 6, 6, 7, 8 is 2. 0 minus 4, if I have 0 cookies, I cannot eat 4 cookies. I have to borrow from next door. So now I have a plate with 10 cookies. So we'll go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. equals 6. 7 minus 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is 4. 4,624. Number 8. There are 11,408 fans at the hockey game and 9,617 fans at the basketball game. How many more fans are at the hockey game than at the basketball game? Show your work. Find our question first. How many more fans are at the hockey game than are at the basketball game? How many more tells us that it's subtraction. We're dealing with hockey and basketball. So we have to label. This is hockey. You guys, we have to circle. It's basketball. Subtraction. 8 minus 7 is 1. 0 minus 1. If I have 0 cookies, can I eat a cookie? No, I have to borrow, making that 3, making this 10. 10 minus 1 is 9. If I have 3 cookies, can I eat 6? No, I have to borrow again, making that 0, and this is 13. Now we're going to count on 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, giving me 7. I cannot take 9 cookies from a plate that has 0. I have to borrow. 10 minus 9 is 1. 1,791 more fans at hockey game. What is the missing digit that makes the subtraction problem correct? This is the same as the addition. You have to solve it or it will trick you. So we're going to start here. 6 minus 5 is 1. Yes. 9 minus 1 is 8. Yes. 0 minus what equals 3? Well, you can't take anything away from 0. So we would have had to regroup 6, 9, and 10. 10 minus what equals 3? 10, or 3, we'll start with 3. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is 7. And then 9 minus 2 is 7. 6 minus 0 is 6. So the answer is 7. Okay, now that you've had a little bit of practice with this, with me leading you, I'd like you to do 78 and 80 on your own, and then I'll give answers tomorrow. Okay?